Hi, you're listening to Book Chat with author Vivian E. Moore.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hello and welcome to Book Chat. I am your host, author Vivian E. Moore. Hope everyone had a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend. We are officially in September. And I missed you guys last week. We didn't do a live show because we, of course, had holiday, Labor Day. And but there was a show. It was recorded, and I hope you enjoyed listening to that. So today we are back 100% live, and this is the type of show I like. I really like talking with you guys, on a person to person level. So we're back today, and I am refreshed, rejuvenated, and I am ready to go. And so, and I'm looking forward to fall. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely looking forward to fall. That's one of my favorite seasons is fall because of course, it gets cooler, but then, the trees start to change colors. So everything is just so beautiful when you look at all the leaves that are on the trees, and then they've got all of those beautiful colors and things like that. So, and I live in a very part of the country where we get to see autumn in a spectacular way because of all the foliage that we have here. And it's absolutely beautiful. So without further delay, now that we've talked about that, let's get right to today's show. And the title of today's show is Impossible Dreams, and the topic is inspiring action. Dreams are nothing more than fantasies until you put them in action. After all, nothing is impossible if you are inspired enough to follow them to the end. Otherwise, they are like the dreams that fill our minds while we sleep, then flutter away and become vague memories. Many artists believe that if they haven't fulfilled their dreams in a specific time frame, they will never come to pass. And that's only true if you allow them to evaporate and do nothing about them. I've had dreams at night, and some of them are like very vivid, and then others are, once I awake, once I open my eyes, it's like they're gone. I have like little whiffs of what I was dreaming about, and if I think about it really hard, it comes back to me. And so we don't want our real life dreams to be that way. We want to make sure that that we stay on track with them, that we just don't let them fade away. We do something about it. We take action and make those dreams a reality, because dreams should inspire action. What I've learned about life and most things is that they all take time. And I know that sometimes, time seems like an eternity, but really it's not, because we all need time to perfect the craft, and time for growth and extensive discovery of one's talents. If you've ever prepared a meal and it was something that, that took steps, you had to do the different steps to actually to complete the meal, and then it came out right. But if you rush it, it doesn't matter if you completed all the steps, but if you rush it, you know how that ends. So I don't have to tell you that. But, but simply because this process doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't mean that it never will. And we need to get inspired and stay that way. Inspiration comes from motivation and encouragement, and it's something every aspiring artist needs. We all are only a few steps away from what we hope to become a reality. And it can become a reality, but you have to stick with it. I know that discouragement comes, it's a part of that inspiration. But you can't you can't let the discouragement overtake you. You have to overpower it with the inspiration and with positivity. And that's why I always say that it is so vital to have positive people around you, positive influences around you. Keep that that circle around you that are not feeding you what you want to hear, but they are encouraging you. They're telling you, you can do this, you got this, and you need to hear that sometimes. We are human, and we may not all strive on those personal egos that that some of us have, that makes our heads so big that we can barely fit into a room. But we do need encouragement from those around us to let us know when we're doing a good job, and also to let us know when we're not doing such a good job. Those are people that are honest and truthful, that will tell you what you need. Not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, because that's important too. And that's part of those inspiring actions, and so, you need to keep that in mind. We should never become complacent, but stay focused on our desires and believe we can achieve them and then make it happen. I admire anyone who has the strength to persevere. No matter the odds stacked against them. I've seen so many instances of people who, they were counted out. They were counted out, down to the count. They were counted out, and then they they fooled everyone by, showing them that, yes, I may be down, but I am far from being over. And so they keep going, no matter what, not because they want to prove a point, but because they know that they have something that they need to do. They know that they won't feel complete until they finish that task. And that's what I want you to do. I was thinking about what can I talk about today for today's show. And I was like, impossible dreams. That song came to me, to dream the impossible dream. And it may sound negative, but it's not. It's telling you that although that dream may seem impossible, but it's not. It's something achievable, but you have to work at it. You have to stay inspired. You have to read things that will inspire you. And you know how I get inspired and stay that way? And it's not all the time from people, telling me that they believe in me, that they love what I'm doing, because that helps too. But really what it is that, I read a lot. And so I read a lot of other artists, a lot of other authors' books. I read their stories. And I love, oh my gosh, I love a good story. That one that has a solid foundation. It doesn't have to be filled with a whole bunch of fancy words, because to me that's not important. That's not necessary to tell a story. All you need is great characters, a good storyline, and a strong plot, and there you go. Those are the building blocks for your story, and that's what makes them so good. And so I read a lot, and I read these books just about every day. I'm listening. Well, I listen to more books than I read, because generally while I'm working, that's when I'm listening to books. So technically I am reading, but I'm listening, to the storytellers, the writers who have written these wonderful books, and I'm listening to the narration of that story, and it inspires me so much, to when I can't figure out the plot, or when I can figure it out. But still I'm inspired. It's like, wow, that is great. So it tells me that I'm on the right track, and that, just like they accomplished their task, they saw it all the way to the end. I know that I can do the same thing. And I not only want to inspire myself, but I want to inspire others. And that's the reason why this show is on every Saturday at 6, because that is part of my goal. It's not just, being an author, but also being a motivational speaker, and that's something that I'm not by trade, but by default is what I generally say. But still, I feel as though it is so important to have this show and to use this platform to help others, to let them know that, maybe you're not at the place where you want to be, but if you keep at it, you will soon get to the place where you need to be. And, that to me, that is just one of the most important things in life, is persevering and never giving up. You know, we have so many setbacks, you know, just in our everyday existence. And that makes us want to say, okay, I quit, I give, you know, I just want to tap out. But you can't. You have to keep moving forward. You have to see the end. You know, if you have a mind, and I know if you're a writer, you have visions. You can see the beginning, the middle, and the end. So you already know how the story is going to end generally before you write it. And that's how you have to address the way you live on a daily basis, how you do everything, how you go about tasks, you know, how you do your job. If you start the day thinking that I'm not going to get everything done that I need to get done today. So if you start out with those negative thoughts, guess what? You're not going to get everything done today. But if you start out thinking, you know, and proclaiming that, okay, today I'm going to get this, and this done. And I know that things may, you know, sort of like fall in, that throws you off a little bit, but don't let that stop you. Keep going. Just keep going. You know, you may not get to the exact point where you want to be, but still you gain a lot of growth just by keep going. And that's how I start my week, you know, on Monday. You know, I know what I have to do. So, you know, I've already have a mental note, a mental image of what I need to do for that day. And so my thought is, okay, I'm going to get this out the way, that out the way, that out of the way. So that way it clears the way, you know, for anything else that may happen, you know. So that's how you have to face your journey, your writing journey, you know, your accomplishments as an author. You want to make it to that finish line. And I know that there are days when it's just not happening. You know, maybe you can write a paragraph or two, or maybe, you know, you can get maybe a couple of pages done, but your goal for that day was to actually do a chapter, you know, and it may not happen. And my thoughts on this is that sometimes it's better to just step away for a while and just relax, relate, and release. You know, just let your mind go free. And that way, when you do that, it opens up. It opens your mind up more. It opens those doors up more. And then you can see. And then it's like, okay, I got my focus back. Then you can sit down and start to work again. And that's what I do, because a lot of times I get distracted. You know, in my older age, I've learned that I am maybe I've always had a form of attention deficit, but I get distracted, and I notice it more and more each day. So what I have to do is, it's hard for me to stay focused. So what I do is I will sit down. And that's another reason why I listen to books while I'm working, because that helps with the distraction. It's like, if I'm concentrating on that, you know, I still have my mind and my hands focused on what I need to be doing for the day. And so that is sort of the same thing that I have to do when I sit down to write. I have to cut out all the things that are in the background, you know, that's keeping my mind from working, that's keeping it from processing and doing what I want it to do, and that's to be productive. But like I said, you know, I've learned that if I just step away for a while, if I just focus my attention on something else for a while, I may, you know, do social media or something like that, you know. But that helps me to regain my thoughts, and it puts me back on the right path to doing what I need to get done that day. And but the end game is, I know that I'm going to finish it. You know, it may not be in the time that I've specified beforehand, but still I know that eventually it's going to get done, because, you know, that's just the type of person I am. It's like, if I start something, I want to finish it. You know, I don't like incomplete anything. I'll work until it's done, and that's just, for me, you know, that's like my philosophy for life. Actually, it's more than a philosophy. It's very much real. That's how I live my life on a daily basis. It's like I set goals and I try to reach those goals. I may not reach them that day, but I know by the end of the week I will reach that goal. And if I don't reach it, I feel so bad about it. But I know I don't give up. I was like, okay, I say, come Monday or come the next week, what I didn't get done this week, I'm going to complete that the next week. So, but by the end, it's all done. So that's the goal, and is to make it to the finish line, and and to let you know that your dreams are not impossible. They should inspire action. And remember, the fulfillment of dreams aren't impossible. All it takes is some inspiration followed by action. All right, folks, that's all I have for you today. But before I let you go, I want to make sure I give these URLs so you can keep in contact with the show. Thank you to all the people who are reaching out on my website, that are subscribing to my newsletter. I thank you so very much for that. I appreciate it. But anyway, Spreaker, of course, is how the show is broadcast every week. And that one is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian E. Moore. You can follow me on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can just look me up on Facebook as E.F. Shepherd at facebook.com, or you can look me up as author Vivian E. Moore at facebook.com. And my Twitter handle is God's Property 46, and my Instagram handle is God's Property 51. If you haven't gone out to check out my websites, the web address to that is https://www.authorvivianemore.com, or either https://www.authorehshepherd.com. And if you read my blog, you can reach that by https://vivianemore.blogsite.com. And also, folks, if you missed the live version of the show today, I know you hear me flipping papers, but I didn't have everything that I needed at my fingertips. So now I have to find it, because I want to make sure that I share with you all of the places where you can listen to the show, the recorded versions of Book Chat. If you just bear with me here for a second, I promise you I found it. Okay, here we go. You can listen to it, of course, on Spreaker, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, YouTube, and of course SoundCloud. So those are all the ways to stay in contact with Book Chat. And again, I want to thank you and for you guys for hanging in there with me as I celebrated my 3-year anniversary, and that came to a wrap actually last Sunday, which it sort of spilled over into September. Last Saturday it spilled over into September. But anyway, that wrapped up the 3-year celebration of Book Chat, and hopefully next year we'll have an equally great celebration of the show. I enjoyed doing it so much, and I want to bring you more guests this year to wrap up the year, and also for 2021. If we are here, under the circumstances is questionable, but we have to trust and believe that, we know that our lives are not in our hands. So we have to trust in God to know that, when He's ready for us, we'll go. But until that time, hopefully we'll still be here. So on that note, tomorrow is worship day, and I hope you're planning on attending church, whether you're doing it by Zoom, or you're doing it on Facebook Live, or you're doing it by telephone, or you're doing it, in the actual building. But just be safe. Make sure you wear your mask, because that's important. Because this pandemic is not over, and it just saddens my heart each time I turn on the news and I hear that another person, has succumbed to this terrible disease, because basically that's what it is. It's an epidemic, and I'm just saddened by it. But still, that's why we need to tune into the Word. because it strengthens us. We need that to pick us up, to get us through the day and to get us through the week. So I hope you're planning on attending in some form of fashion. And also tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow isn't promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say that. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you and goodbye.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.